Welcome back to the Educational Currency Podcast. I'm Chris Kalodikis from Maximum Education.
I'm Robert Naumoski from the Coaching College, Tuition Center, and Ultimate Jiu-Jitsu.
And today, guys, we're going to be talking about my experiences in professional associations, and in particular, my experience with ICT New South Wales. And I'm going to be talking about it for a few reasons. One is that I have joined, as I mentioned before, on there as one of the directors at the association. And it's been a lot of learning and a lot of learning that I would like to share with you all out there. But also through being a part of it, seeing how important professional associations are, not just in teaching. I know they're all throughout every industry, but it's more than I originally thought. And even when I first started as a teacher, I didn't even fully understand what a professional association was. Like, I kind of confused it with a union. And then I also thought, well, I'm a part of a systemic school system. Is it kind of like that, networking? And so I've got a clearer understanding now of what it is.
So what is a professional association?
Well, it's an association of people who are professionals in a particular industry. But
yeah, but what does it mean for teachers? So for example, I know there's a law society.
Yeah.
There's an accounting one.
Yeah.
There's a martial arts one, Amahof.
Yeah.
And a few others, but what for teaching, what is out there?
So essentially in teaching, we've got a variety of professional associations, and they're divided up in a variety of ways. The simplest way to put it is there's like a subject-orientated professional association for your subject. So there's one for English teachers, there's another one for maths teachers, there's multiple in some areas as well, I should highlight too. The one that I'm a part of is obviously targeted at digital education and in the realm of computing. So they're all subject-orientated ones. But then you've also got ones like the PTC, and they're like this overarching one, and they're like the Professional Teachers Council. And so they kind of help the associations also network and look for opportunities as well, bringing teachers together across faculty and kind of getting that consistency going. So there is actually many associations out there to support teachers in general. Now, what that support looks like is varying. So once I started figuring out what a professional association was, then I was like, once again, younger Chris here thinking, it's about professional development. So they give seminars, they upskill us with industry currency, and I maintain my currency through going to the association, receiving their PD and learning. And at a level, that is correct. Okay, so that PD that I learned, and now that I've been on the other side too, PD is targeted to what is relevant. So at the event we just had last weekend, I just did a whole conference weekend with them. We talked about things like AI in education. We had curriculum targeted at, once again, the new computing subjects and a high-level programming in those subjects, and the presenters there were fantastic. And this is another thing I think I should say about professional associations too. It is professionals. Volunteers, no one's paid. Like, all money is pretty much for the hiring of the event venue and for food for the venue. People are giving up their time, and these people are amazing. Like, I felt like many times the dumbest guy in the room, being surrounded by people who are so highly intelligent, so hardworking. Like, it does fill you with a bit of, professional rigor, because you're having these dialogue, these conversations. And as we've learned from the podcast, you learn so much through just natural conversation as well. And that's when you start seeing, okay, so it's not just formal PD. You're learning through just talking to people at the professional association and like building these different connections.
But so for a new teacher, a young teacher, are there any associations they can join, or is it just a general one?
So no, if you're a young teacher, look, I would recommend you now, and once again, it depends the teacher you are too. Like, if you're my association, ICT New South Wales, we take teachers right across the board. So we have an early childhood target. We have a middle school, I guess you would say, but it's kind of like high school 7 to 10, and then stage 6. All of that we try to target through our association, and hard to embed digital technologies into the curriculum at all levels, from stage 1 to stage 6. So if you were a brand new teacher, I would straight away say, join us if your focus is digital technologies. But there would be ones, obviously, as said, for mathematics, science, English, history, all of that. And yet, especially if you're a young teacher, it's the place to go. Now, there's many reasons for this. The first reason is just being, you're going to get PD, okay? There are people there with targeted programs to teach you on how to be a teacher. So you get this interaction with experienced teachers. But then also in something like my subject area, okay, in maths, you get larger departments, don't you? You can have up to 6 to 10 teachers in a maths department. But computing teachers, there might be one in a school. Like I'm very lucky at the college I'm at that there's 3 to 4 of us. Okay. But in most schools, there could be one teacher, and that one teacher might even be pulled from another faculty. And I met one at the event who was actually a PDHPE teacher. They didn't have a computing teacher. I'm like, can you do it? And I was able to build a connection with her now and started a relationship sharing resources.
So it's serious networking, really.
It is serious networking. And that's what I've learned with the association too. Networking is potentially the other big advantage of being a part of the association. Meeting people that you can help. You know, like as I said, I've always been a part of a systemic school system where I could reach out to people at other schools, and that was okay. We had networking events. But some of these people are a part of independent schools where they might be more isolated, or at public schools where there just is no one, and they're a young teacher, they don't have those connections too. And so you're networking across systems, and I love that. Like, I don't like being that I'm in this system, or this system. As we are with this podcast, we're out there to work with anyone that we can. And so that's something I'm seeing more and more, that you can work with people across system and support your peers across system. And, you know, you develop these two-way relationships too, that, you know, these people then make fantastic resources and they share it back. They remember who helped them.
Or maybe even job opportunities.
Well, that's the next level that I'm picking up at too.
Yeah.
So that will be the other thing I'd highlight as well. So at this event too, there were representatives from NESA. There was a representative from ACARA. There was someone that came up from Melbourne from the Australian Computer Society. So these are all people that are in high decision-making positions, okay, related to education, not just computing education. We're talking overall education. And that's when you start to think to yourself too, and I've always seen it as a young teacher too, like, how does a teacher end up at NESA or Australian Computer Society or ACARA? Like, I've never been able to fully understand that bridge. Well, now I've got people right next to me that I can ask that to directly. You know, so if I ever did think I'm done with the classroom and I want to try something different, I could reach out to these people. They've seen me present. They know what I am. And so what I just highlighted then is another advantage of to it. We said for young teachers that there's the whole advantage of, you know, you learn from these people. But the presenters at the events gain a lot too. Okay, first and foremost, you know, their name is out there. You are seen as someone that knows your stuff. You know, and prior to being on the association's board, I presented at the event quite a few times before with, you know, talking about the HSC, the new subject, and resources for the computing subjects. So that was kind of my gateway into joining it.
Yeah, but then how did they? Well, you're a classroom teacher, and you're a wellbeing coordinator. Were you approached to be a presenter, or did you put your name down? How did you end up presenting?
So for me, I was approached. Due to my, like, once again, kind of goes back to my YouTube channel. My name was always out there. Okay, so that got me kind of known a bit. Then other types of networking things that I've done for NESA got me noticed by another person who's actually a director on the board. Okay, and then he encouraged me to present at the event one year. And then I've kind of presented in consecutive years. And then this is the association that gave me the award in 2022 as well. So I've always remembered that too, that I was honored by the association. And that really helped me professionally. And then when the opportunity that came up and they said, look, do you want to come join the board? I took it on board because I felt like I was giving back almost, you know, for all the good things that the actual association did to me.
But the association looks for people.
It looks for people. It looks for the cream. Okay. And if you come to their events, you will mingle with the cream.
And you become as well.
You become
This is the whole point as a young teacher.
Yeah.
It's probably the best place for mentorship.
It is the best place for mentorship. And as I said, especially if you are in a school where you are potentially isolated just because you are the only teacher in that faculty, you know, or you are new to the system. You don't have friends at other schools to ask, where's this program? Can I borrow a program? Well, go to the association. The association also does provide digital resources for members through their website. So you can get programs, assessment tasks, teaching resources, all of that, which actually correlates to the next event we run, and we have run in the past. We run writers' workshops. So with these writers' workshops, our next one's going to take place on May the 2nd. We get the teachers together, okay, and it'll be, once again, very minimum fee to take part in it, once again, just to cover catering. But essentially, you get to sit down and we build programs together. One of the actual event, the session I ran on the weekend was about preparing for it. What are our weak areas in our programs for stage 6 computing? how can we best prepare our students? Well, this is what we're going to work on. And the feedback was, okay, we kind of have programs and the other course has been out for 2 years and the assessment tasks are looking good. Maybe we've got to try to emulate some HSC style questions that we can give to our students, because it looks like the 8-mark question is a weakness for them in the HSC. So it's targeted by professional teachers. Yeah. And then, come May 2nd, that is what we're going to work on in enterprise computing and software engineering as a team, as an association.
Does NESA recognize it as a PD day? Or is that different?
Oh, yeah, NESA does. So I can put down, 12 hours on the weekend, that is 12 hours ticked off, okay, of PD that I can have as a part of my accreditation. Now, on the accreditation front, 12 hours tick, that's excellent. But let's go back to the presenters again. Yeah. If you want to be a HALT, okay, or a lead teacher, they directly correlate with presenting to teachers. Almost all the HALT ones say working with colleagues to develop programs, showing them how to do new types of educational theories and training. Like, it's all about working with colleagues in your domain and showing yourself as a leader. And even being a lead, one of the actual points in element 7 says, take a leadership role at a professional association. Like, that's just tick straight away once you go on board with that. So that's
on board as part of the directors, or just part of the...
Well, that's part on board with one of the directors, but that's lead. That's the highest one. That's the one I'm not yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon, but we'll see how we go.
You'll get there.
I've got to muster it up there.
I'm still waiting for the proficient one.
Yeah, no.
I think I handed it all in.
What do you call yourself? The most experienced?
Oh, no, they go... they all looked at me and went, oh, wow, how long have you been teaching for? Maths, 30 years.
Yeah.
30 plus years, but in a school, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And I go, how do you describe yourself? I'm the most inexperienced teacher you found. So tell me what I need not to get fired.
Yeah.
And I can keep within those parameters.
And that's it, eh?
Yeah, but for myself, I'm very, very interested.
Yeah.
Like, I consider myself a professional. So I'm definitely looking into these associations. And if it attaches to my PD day, even better.
Oh, yeah. Well, think about it. You've got to fill in 100 hours of 5 years. You attend one conference weekend, and that's 12 hours ticked off. That's 10% done in a weekend.
Oh, straight away.
Yeah. And that's not even including all the school stuff you do. And school fills it up pretty quick as well.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to look at some maths associations.
Yeah, well, definitely. Okay. And you'd be such an attribute to those maths associations, especially with your degree and, and your teaching ability, your history and tutoring and the different ways you've gone about it. The other thing too is, at a lot of these events too, it's not just teachers too. You do get people from industry, and I wouldn't be surprised in some of the maths associations if they do have people from industry, most likely from tertiary too. They're building bridges between, primary, secondary, tertiary up there as well. And that was actually one thing that got me by surprise. 2 of the presenters that taught for a software engineering seminar, which was targeted at year 12, well, they were from Sydney Uni. And that's a great bridge to build because they obviously know their stuff, but they're kind of giving, well, you're teaching these kids so that they can come to us.
Yeah.
So this is what the kids need to know. Now, it was very high level. And like I said, this was one of those sessions I was in. I was like, I have no idea. And my weakness is coding. But these people, they gave it. And all the other people who were software engineering experts around me loved it. They ate it up. Like, wow, this is an amazing way we could teach it to our kids because it's real. And it links to then what the job is and what they're getting taught at university. And they shared resources and that too. So, even tertiary was there giving it and building that bridge from tertiary to the secondary. So it's really amazing.
Did you get the print? Did you tell your principal that you were going to this, or is it something you do as a teacher? You do it privately?
I didn't tell my principal I was going to because it's me doing PD on the weekend.
Okay.
And he's got
to know.
You can tell it. Like, I don't know. I feel like I tell my principal a lot.
But you have to tell your principal for it to be part of your PD.
No, because you do that all on NESA.
Oh, by yourself.
You do that all through your ETAMs on NESA.
I've got to learn this.
So he doesn't need to not like that. Yeah, and like I was saying, I didn't tell my principal because I do it a lot. And I don't want to seem like I'm talking about myself a lot and trying to big note myself a lot. So I don't want to I'm going to be at the association on the weekend, I think he knows I do a lot of work outside of school. So that's the only reason I didn't tell him. I didn't want him to think I'm just pumping myself up again.
It's something to ask as a new teacher.
Yeah.
Like, how do I approach this?
Yeah.
We reveal stuff to our principal.
Well, if you were going as a guest, I would let your principal know because, you do have to pay a fee to go. You will pay your membership out of your own pocket, but then to attend the event, you can be a non-member, but it costs quite a lot more. Okay, but if you're a member, okay, you have to pay the fee to.
And the school may cover the cost.
Yeah, and the school may cover the cost, or they may reimburse you. Okay, so there is a fee associated with going to these events. So you would let your principal know, but I didn't let my principal know because
because as a new teacher, it's scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
You're kind of like treading waters. Like, what do I, like to be, good at my job. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Don't want to get in any trouble.
Yeah, that's right. So you would do it. And look, I have had it put to me in the past by my leader of learning, my head of faculty, who actually said you should attend this event and go to it. Okay, so it is, it's accepted by schools. There's no taboo about it. They recognize the professional associations. And you would hope you'd be in a situation where your school does cover it. On the topic of new teachers too, one of the best things at this too was, I think I had a first year teacher there. He came in his best suit, ready to go. He took the event proper serious. And then I'm there in a Ben Sherman shirt and jeans, but it was good to see such passion. And he came to show himself as a professional, So it is that we're guiding each other, we're nurturing each other, and you do get to meet such interesting types. And look, then let's go out of the classroom now. On that networking front, I've already told you, Rob, and I told Kate as well, we met some amazing people that I'd love to have on this podcast. I met, hopefully it might lead to our first collab. I met a lovely teacher who ran her own podcast and go, you're coming on.
Yeah, we have to have you on.
And we're gonna share an episode together and talk about things and talk a bit about the challenges and learnings of running a podcast. So that's hopefully one I can line up too. And then another person who I directly ran to, there was a person there dressed as Link from Zelda, and we've heard from my
He showed us the photos.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. And I had no idea who this person was or why they were even there. And then I learned that they're a tech teacher who then used their skills to transition into cosplaying, and quite high up in cosplaying, where she was only there for about 20 minutes, and she was associated with one of our sponsors. But she was actually heading over to the convention center, the International Convention Center, because there was an event on, and she was one of the judges. But what she was wearing was amazing, and she made her own master sword, and she let me hold it. It was the best. But some amazing stories like that, and because these people are very passionate, they're keen to come on. So hopefully we can transition some of them to coming onto the podcast and having a chat with us.
Yeah, we'll definitely reach out.
Yeah, and going for it like that too. So it's just that other level. You're meeting other passionate educators, and it can serve so much. So from my learnings, I first just think it's PD, but then it's a chance to show your leadership, and you to give PD to others, but then also the networking level and chances to move around in your career for building relationships with people who have gone into other places, and they're seeing you at the event and that you know your stuff and that you're capable and competent. Learning that, and then just the social aspect of it all, meeting other people, talking, teaching, talking education. You gain so much out of these weekends.
Is it always a weekend, or can it be weekday?
No. So not always weekend. Pretty much they can host it whenever they want. I get the vibe that we're being computing, we're a bit of a smaller one because there are computing teachers. We're quite a small area. Okay, so we do it, and we've even discussed on the board, okay, is a weekend too much for people? Would one day attract more people because it's more palatable? Because it is intense going through 2 days of PD. Okay, you are tired by the end of it. So that's kind of discussions we have behind the scenes on what do our members want the most. Okay, but then if you do it over the 2 days, you get it all out of the way on 2 days and prepares you best for the year as well. But no, not always 2 days, can be 1 day. It can also be online. Okay, and during COVID, that's actually when I started presenting for the association. My first one was online. And I was giving it through Zoom and giving it to people that way. But I didn't like it online.
Yeah, you need the human.
You need the human touch, the human element. But that's things that our association wants to continue on with too. They've seen the work I've done here too. They want me to interview people similar to we do, but I will do that online. I won't do it in the format we do it here. That'll be more through probably a Google Meets way where we'll see both our faces, but we'll both be at home. And I'll interview people who are related to ICT. And also, I'll be doing more short form media for them as well. A lot of stuff I record at the event, interviewing people about their experiences. I've gotten a lot of training in short form media with us here. So skills are transitional.
Yeah.
You never know when they're going to be used. But so it's good that the association have seen my niche in skills. a lot of it that I've learned from here. And, that's going to be what I give to the association.
So where can a teacher look for these associations? Do you ask your head teacher? Do you ask the assistant principal?
Yeah.
So you're sitting at school, a teacher's listening to this podcast. If you have listened to this podcast, pass it on to another teacher.
That's it.
And do subscribe, like, and please comment. See, Kate, I got it in.
You got it in.
Like it. The boss is always telling us, make sure you say subscribe, like, comment.
And we've got to say it early, That's what
I don't know, is it before or after?
Don't know.
Kate.
Yeah, both. Okay.
Both. She says
both. Yeah.
Both. But you're sitting at school. Where can you look for these associations? Does the school development officer give them to you, or how do you go about searching for them?
So, well, with me, it did come through two ways. As I said, my head teacher did put it together. Go, this conference is coming up. Would you like to attend? So it can come through your head teacher. So you can approach your head teacher and ask about it. The other way is, the way I actually did get introduced to the association was at a NESA event. Okay, I was at the NESA event, and one of the members was there. He's like, you should come, and you'd be really great to be at this event there. So you can find out that way as well. You can do a search online, professional associations, and try to see one that correlates with your specific subject area or teaching area, whether through primary, secondary, or tertiary. Or the other way you can do it too, if you do remember one association from this, the one I mentioned before, the Professional Teachers Council, as I said, they're kind of the overarching one who work with multiple associations, and they can probably put you onto what your best suited association is.
Yeah, we'll put some in the link.
Yeah.
That way, you can just click on and make it easier for you.
Yeah. And look, a key thing about it too is it's fun. Okay, it is like one of those things. You're out of the classroom, you're talking with other teachers, you're sharing experiences, you're going out for dinner after and networking. Like, it's a great social event. Schools don't send one teacher, they send groups of teachers. Like, it's got a bit of a weekend away vibe. And for some of the teachers, it is a weekend away. You've got teachers coming out from rural locations, some also being flown in from interstate for these events. Like, it does have that vibe about it. And I'm all for that. Teaching is fun, education. That's our whole mantra with this whole podcast too. So it's your chance to meet these other passionate people and have a great time with it, share ideas, learn from each other, and just realize as well, you're not alone.
Yeah, that's the main point is build your network.
Yeah.
It's not just within your school. Now, of course, you build your network within the school. Yep. That's first and foremost. But then once you're comfortable there, you got to get out of your comfort zone. That's when you build your network outside of the school. Now, that's obviously with teachers that have left the school and you still keep in contact with. But then the professional association can build networks across all of Australia, which is what I'm looking forward to.
And that's the day. And it, like I said, they're not just for teachers, obviously. The associations, all industries have associations. And being in this day and age too, where they say, we change careers quite a lot of times. And there's nothing wrong with that. We do feel like, maybe I've done this for a long time. It's now for my next step. Well, your association could be your first step. Like I said, that person you talk to who worked at that place and it looks really interesting, they could be your gateway into another opportunity. And they'll have faith taking you on because they can see you're a hard worker. Someone who's willing to give up their weekend. Someone who knows their stuff by the PD they just gave to all these young teachers. They're a team player. So just that flexibility in your career can be married by that. And it could be a way out of teaching, could be a way into teaching.
It sounds like you could probably be headhunted as well.
Yeah, there is a bit of that.
One of those things where you may have an opportunity where you're not thinking of coming out of teaching, but then someone headhunts you for a certain position. Yeah. And you may consider that option.
Well, I've been tapped on the shoulder a few times to go for jobs through members of the association, but I love where I am,
It's hard as a teacher.
I work at such a fantastic place.
Yeah, once you get locked into a nice school, you build a rapport with the teachers around you and with the, executive staff and then the students and the community. Yeah. And that's why you get teachers locking in 30, plus years into one school.
Yeah. But who knows?
But you can still network.
Yeah, you still network, and you never know when the right deal might come along, or for the job you didn't even know existed that, you never thought was possible. That's the way. It does come through these associations.
Well, thanks to COVID, I started teaching at a school. So
there you go.
I've never been happier.
It was a very definitive time for both of us, wasn't it, COVID?
Yeah, COVID. Well, for myself, if you ask me pre-COVID, would I be teaching at a high school? I'd look at you and go, tuition centre, I've got martial arts centres that I'm pretty busy. Yeah. But then COVID gave me a reset and I went, an opportunity came up to actually give it a go. Yeah. And it wasn't something that I was looking into. Wasn't, I didn't have a resume. I just got the job.
You still don't, from what I understand.
I've actually still yet to have a job interview and actually apply for a position. But I'm pretty much set where I am. I see myself, God willing, teaching out my days at St. Mary's and St. Mina's Coptic Orthodox College,
Yeah.
And there's teachers there. We have a new principal now, Miss Mary Nicola. So I guess we can roll out a few decades with her.
That's it, eh? And she'd be very interested in coming back and talking about her new role.
Well, that's the plan. We'll let her sit into it for a year, and then we'll have fresh new principal, 1 year of what's it like. Yeah,
and I like that idea too. That even with our podcast, we're creating our own little network too. And hopefully we can revisit some of our peers that have changed careers, gone to different schools and all that.
Definitely.
Too.
It's one of those things where you do not lose contact when the teachers leave. And this is where next Thursday we've got a teacher that's moving on to another position, and we're all going out. Have those drinks. You build those memories. Yeah, just like I did when we worked together.
Still missing him at work.
Actually, I've been fortunate to work at two very good schools. Yeah, very good schools. I've heard other teachers that I've trained with jiu-jitsu or that I know personally that I've had some rough times, but I've had nothing but a positive experience. Yeah. And hopefully with this podcast, we can convince more professionals to come on board.
That's right. Come on in. And even to those teachers who are having tough times at the school, before you give up on the career, try a different school, a different system, a different location.
I've had a close family friend go as a casual. So if you are struggling with teaching and you're thinking, is this for me? Jump around a few schools as a casual. You never know. Like there's a certain fit the school has with the teacher. So, one teacher, probably struggling at an all-girls school would be great at an all-boys school. Yeah. Or then maybe if you've had a fair few years at a boys' school, you go to a co-ed school and it's a breath of fresh air.
The dynamic just changes, eh?
Yeah. But then that school could be such a good fit for you where you could roll out the next 20, 30 years there. Yeah. And really, hone in your craft.
And that's the thing, when you find the place you feel like you belong.
It's like when parents pick a school for their child. It's not just, is the child a good model for the school? Is the school a good model for this child? And I think as teachers, we have the same thing. Yeah. When you're starting to work in an environment, I've got, is this a good model for you? I've got we've got to bring him on. One of my jiu-jitsu instructors, he works with kids that are refugees at a school. Wow. And he loves it. Yeah. Absolutely loves it.
Yeah, reach out to him.
Oh, Alex, you're on. No mucking around. We'll bring him in. And he can't think of, he wouldn't work anywhere else, even though, they've got whatever issues, they're going through. Yeah. For me and you may seem like a nightmare. For him, it's fantastic. Yeah. Loves going to work every day. Very positive.
That's good. That means he's in the right place.
Yeah.
Doing meaningful work.
Yeah. There's always, but that goes for every profession. Yeah. It's not just, us as teachers. Even in a law firm. This law firm could not be, maybe not for you. You could go to somewhere else. Move on, network. Yeah. It's human nature. Human nature is build that contact. Build that rapport with people. And if you're not building a rapport with someone at work, are you in the right, not are you in the right profession, are you in the right job? Yeah.
And that's also where they say with teaching, but it does go across everywhere, that it's not just a job, it's a vocation. And I think that's an incredibly important thing to do. And once again, why professional associations are so good. It's not just that you're a teacher in a school. No, you're out there, you live it, you love it.
Yeah.
From a good place.
Yeah, and you have to build networks.
Yeah, it's the foundation of it all. You feel better when you've got a network. Like you feel good.
Well, human nature, we're designed to... Yeah. We're designed to network. We're designed for communal living.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not solitary beasts.
No, definitely not.
There you go. Well, there's the philosophical end of this episode, I think there, Rob.
Yes, pretty much. Thank you again for listening. We really appreciate the support. And again, please subscribe, feel free to share the videos and, throw us a comment or even in the comments, tell us any topics you would like us to discuss, something we haven't missed, or a comment one of the topics that you liked or maybe you didn't like or maybe disagreed with us.
You're getting good at this, Rob. You're getting very good at this. I remember when you couldn't say like, share, subscribe. Now look what you're whipping out.
I got the pressure of Kate staring at me. When the boss is like eyeballs are piercing into your soul. We better make it good.
That was a good wrap. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
All good. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Robert Naumoski.
And I'm Chris Kalodikis, guys.
Thank you.
That was good, man. Good finish. Excellent. That was great.
Very